Good morning, everybody, and welcome back. Thanks for joining me on the blog journey for the buildup of this Custom Replicas 66-inch Nautilus. Let's take a look at where I'm at right now. Obviously made a little bit more progress. The model has been secured to the display base. The display base has been weathered up a little bit. I've used some dry brushing with some silver to bring out those really incredible details that are on there. A hardwood display base has been built. Again, this was oak, and I've stained it, and I actually roughed it up with some fine grit sandpaper, and then I gave it a matte finish. What I find is the the gloss, the high gloss finish that everybody seems to like actually doesn't look very good with this model. We're going for something a little bit more weathered, so that's what I've come up with. Matte finish with the stain roughed up just a little bit with some sandpaper. This little brass telegraph is something that I got off of Amazon. I think it adds a lot of interest to the model, and it's going to be mounted to the control box. And the way that that's going to look is going to be something like this. And this control box was actually, I built this in 3 dimensions on the computer, and I printed it with my 3D printer over there. But this is just basically PLA plastic, and I've mounted all my switch units to it. I've got a nice N for Nautilus on there. But this is going to go something like this. This is going to go something like this. And that's roughly what the control box is going to look like. So the control cables will run from the back of the unit to the model, sort of on an umbilical, and that's what we're looking at. So that's what I'm working on this morning. I'm going to try and get this control box finished up, and then we'll see where we're at. Alright, a little bit later, and I've got the wiring all set inside the control box. You can see I've got a main power lead here, the 3 control leads. I built some brass power dispersion blocks there, and everything is all wired up and operational. I've tested it, which is extremely good to see. What I'm going to do now is I am going to use some of this rubber sheeting that I have, and I'm going to make that into the base for the control box so it doesn't slide around, and it also lends a little bit of weight. So that's what I'm on to now. Okay, and here she is, the completed Custom Replicas 66.5-inch Nautilus. I want to walk you through how it turned out so you can see it in the light, and then I'll do up a separate video sort of outlining everything in a more theatrical manner, but show you the basic functions and how it's set up here. You can get a good idea of how it turned out. Okay, let's start here. This is the underwater effects module, the underwater effects lamp. These are commercially available. I really like this one. It's a little bit big, but it's got great brightness, and it's got a lot of really neat features in that you can actually change the color of the ripple effects if you want something a little bit more dramatic or a little different. Other thing that I really like about it is that it's all LED. There's no heat that's going to be coming out of it. So extremely easy to mount and has a really neat effect, as you saw earlier. Okay, here is the model in full fluorescent lighting. The exterior and interior lights are on. You can see the hull finish actually turned out really, really well. A little bit different than my normal. I've actually done some streaking with some rust paint as well as the actual rust. And that added just a little bit more weathering to it. I think it turned out really, really well. It's kind of hard to catch it with the the camera, as the lighting is quite subtle, but it turned out quite well. You can see the flashing LED lights inside, and that's coming from the atomic counter. which you should be able to see here, flashing green and red, as per the movie. Brass decking that we installed earlier on, spiral staircase. There's the map table at the back. You can see a spread out and a rolled up map on the back there. And here's the interior of the salon. Field of view is quite good. You can see some picture frames that I did up, the edge of the organ, specimen table, of course the curved settee couch, and the bookcase on the back wall there. Here's a plaque that I did up, and it's fully removable and freestanding, so the owner can display that however he feels fit. And this is the display stand. This was weathered in the same manner as the hull, but with a darker base coat, and then it was dry brushed with silver to bring out some of the really neat rivet and panel line details. Here is the magnetically latching lower hatch, and you can see it's got light coming out from the bottom there, and it stays closed, like I said, magnetically. Moving over here, you can see the control center. This is a real brass engine's telegraph wheel, and it's mounted to the display base that I fabricated. These are all of the 6 main functions of the model. It's connected to the model via the Cat5 network cables that carry all of the signal and power to the model itself. So if we take a look back here, you can see that these switches control the exterior lights and all the other functions. We'll take a look at some of them now. Again, that's the exterior lighting, the interior lighting. You can jump back to the propeller. Here's the operational iris. You can see absolutely no light is escaping from the inside. That's a 0 aperture iris. And of course the tricky one, the hatches and breathers. There's the walkway heading down. We've got our stairs down to a landing there with the doors. Kind of hard to see here. And again, all the end points for these auxiliary functions are controlled with limit switches, so you don't have to worry about timing it properly so you don't strip gears. Here's the green attack lighting. Shines up through the floor grating. And I also added some attack lighting for the salon, just thinking that if they are in attack mode, you might want to preserve night vision for the people in the salon there as well. So there you are. That's an overview of the completed Custom Replicas 66.5-inch Nautilus. Thank you very much for watching me as I chronicled the build of this model. It's been a blast. I really like how it turned out, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, by all means, email me at any time at bob@rc-sub.com. Love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.